Okay, I think we are live. We're gonna start reading the rules book written by Fein and Sherrie Schneider, and it's rule number 16. Don't tell him what to do. Monse, you can start.
Sure. If your boyfriend wants to join the new In Health Club, where all the leggy model types work out, don't tell him to jog on the street or exercise at home. Say, that's great, and go about your business. Don't show that you're jealous or insecure. If he loves you, it won't matter how pretty the girls at the gym are. If he'd rather go camping with his friends on the weekends than be with you, either let him or break up with him. But don't tell him what to do. Our friend Marcy was seeing Joe for a couple of months when he suddenly started to make weekend plans with his friends. Conditioned by her therapist to be honest and upfront about her feelings, Marcy told Joe that she felt abandoned. He immediately started making weekend plans with her. She was static. But after a month of togetherness, he suddenly stopped calling. She never heard from him again. The moral of the story: don't play social director. If Joe didn't want to spend weekends with Marcy, being asked to wasn't going to change his mind. Men do what they want to do. If they can't live without you, it's very clear. If they can live without you, it's also clear. Don't be dense. Read the tea leaves and move on to the next man if necessary. If after dating you for months, he has never introduced you to his parents or friends, that means he doesn't want you to meet his parents or friends. He may simply be shy about the whole thing. Don't be pushy and suggest meeting them if he doesn't bring it up. We don't force ourselves on the family. We don't make friends with his roommate or take his mother to lunch so that she'll tell him to marry us. No one can make him marry us. Either accept the situation as it is and be patient, or date others. But don't force anything to happen. Finally, don't try to change his life in any way. Don't go through his closet and throw out his favorite but disgusting old jeans and then suggest
I love that.
you and he go shopping for new ones. Don't try to turn him on to tennis when he loves drinking beer and watching football. Don't sign him up for career counseling courses because you're unhappy with his current job. Don't push your interest on him either. If he loves steak, don't preach the virtues of vegetarianism, sorry. You don't owe him. Don't fix him. You will end up emasculating him and he will come to see you as domineering screw. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that word. He wants someone who makes him feel good or better, not inadequate. So leave him alone. When he asks you what to wear or how to play tennis, you can help him. Until then, just be there. End of Rule 16.
Wonderful. Thank you, Monse. It was perfect. I think there's a lot in that chapter that we can talk about. And I think most women, and I really refer to 99% of us, do really struggle with this particular rule because it's really not easy to, first of all, to understand why it's so important because, we all kind of feel, what's wrong about like suggesting a new career path to a guy? What's wrong with like going through his closet and say, "Oh my God, how can you wear these old jeans and all that stuff?" But at the same time, it's so important. And I wonder what you guys think about it. If you want to say a few words.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I think that it's important, but I mean, one of the things about what I'm realizing about with the rules is that like it all makes sense, all of it. I mean, I've tested it. It's just that you make those mistakes until you really it really resonates with you. Like it's just a rule until you can understand it on like some deep like level, and when you're really understanding like okay, your value, right? And also too, there is a book too with a man. It's called Fuck Him, but anyhow, the man is it's written by a man and he kind of does talk about the rules. Not I don't know if he's doing it on if he knows about the book, but he kind of talks about it from like a male perspective, like the same rules. that we're following. And he's very big on don't say anything, just pull back, just ignore, don't give in, like you can't allow a man to take control of the relationship, you have to steer it as a woman. So he says a lot of the same things. And one of the things that I'm realizing is that even if a man is sort of like making you feel like you should suggest things for him, it's like they don't respect you when you do it. I've had guys ask me out, and then they're like literally trying to make me plan the date. And I'm just like, nope. I mean, I don't know. I mean, well, it's up to just trying to play dumb, in a sense, to make so that they can
Yeah,
do it on their
actually,
own.
we're trying to stick to this particular rule. We're trying to discuss exactly what's written in that particular on those particular pages. So there's of course a lot more deeper into that, but we will try to really discuss the particular pages that we're on right now. Is there anything that you have done in the past? Let's say you were dating a guy and then you tried to change him in any way or told him what to do and what not to do in the
Yeah,
past.
that's
Maybe
what
you
I
could
was
share some
that's what
of
I was
that
discussing.
and then, yeah. So,
That's exactly what I was doing. I was just kind of giving an example. That's what I was doing, talking about the what we're exactly talking about. And I mean, like I said, I went on a date recently, and the guy did that to me. He sort of um asked me a question about like his schedule and would it fit and what could he do, and I was just kind of like, well, you have to figure it out. And then I suggested him changing his work schedule a little bit, or working different hours. And he sort of looked at me with this, like, the nerve of you, but yet he
yeah,
asked. So I'm just realizing, like, even if
that's
they
good.
ask, or even if you suggest
Mhm.
changing them, or if it's like they don't respect you when you do it. So I'm just, as far as the
Right,
rule goes, I think it's really important that you don't do it or try to change them, even if they're like kind of begging for it, or making you feel subliminally that they
right,
need to.
right.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're totally right. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but yeah, that's exactly also my point, and I really want to support like on the tone that you just connected. Um, so even if they tell you, please tell me what to do, or I need your help, if you're not his wife, really do not help him and really do not advise him on the career or whatever his wishes are or his hobbies. If that's not concerning you, like that's a good point. Like I've had this a lot as well, but I went even as far as advising my ex-boyfriend pre-rules on career change, not particular career change. I told him to quit his high-paying profile manager job at a multimillionaire company. Like it was a very big company. He was one of the highest paid guys there, and I told him, well, unbelievable, but I told him, you are already at the highest point in your career in that particular company. There's no way more up for you unless you become a CEO and buy this company, but there's no way. So you need to like quit now and build your own business, which seems like a great advice, right? But the thing is, I was not his wife at that point, and he actually followed my advice, but we still broke up because he felt definitely emasculated by my domineering suggestion. Like, I mean, how crazy was that? But I was just his girlfriend. I would not
Yeah.
even suggest a wife to do these kind of things. Like,
Right.
it's really dangerous path to go.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Monse?
Yeah, I think it's dangerous too. I think in the past, I know for sure in the past, I've definitely with boyfriends, I've told them what to wear. That's like a horrible habit. And you know
We
what?
all did.
I get that now, that that's very disrespectful of me. Not only it, like it steers me away from, maybe having a more serious relationship with them, but I also have noticed that it's a way of disrespecting people. Like I want to be accepted, yet I don't accept the men in my life for who they are. Um
Right.
so that has also
Mm.
backfired. Um
Oh, wow.
but yeah, just the way I see it now is more so than just, you know not being, or being a rule and me breaking a rule. Is also like, well, I'm not letting this person be who they truly are, and I'm trying to,
Mm.
disrespect
Right.
them
You
and kind of
totally got the
get my
point.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with you with what you just said. I don't let men be themselves. And I'm glad I'm able to admit that I do try to like lower my crown in order to make them fit in. And I do tend to be controlling. And I do like, meaning like, I'll tell them like, okay, do this, do that, or whatever, because I just want it to happen so badly. And I have been guilty of showing my when I'm feeling jealous or something like that, because even if they're talking to me like I'm a wife already, or pretending like, but I realize that it doesn't matter what a man does. It's just you cannot let them steer the relationship. You can't control them, or not accept them for who they are, or try to tell them what to do, even if they're like, kind of giving you hints that you should, because they just resent you in the end. And so, yeah, I can admit that I am guilty of this.
Absolutely brought to the point. I agree with all of you, girls, whatever you said. It's really disrespectful to another person, especially if you're just starting out in a relationship. And I think it's really important to know when to say no and when to say yes.
Hello, I think it froze.
Hey, Alina, we cannot hear you.
It froze or something. You froze. It must be her reception.
Probably. Oh yeah, she'll be back.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, going back to that, I mean, like, also, I like where it says that, like the person in the story was encouraged by her therapist, or like whatever she knew
Mhm.
about therapy, to just be like upfront and
Mhm.
open up
Right.
and tell him, his boyfriend, that
Mhm. Right.
like her true
Right.
feelings is like, well, I don't feel now that everyone needs to know my true feelings.
No.
Like, there's also a place for me to deal with my own.
Mhm.
And if someone's action is making me feel abandoned, then I probably don't have much going on in my life.
Right.
Like, there's other things I could do during the
Right.
weekend. Like, if my boyfriend or partner decides to do something on his
Right.
own with his friends or family, he has the right to do that. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
might as well just find something for me.
Yeah, I'm a psychologist too, so I mean, like, I kind of understand the whole little like speak your mind and be upfront, and that. So it's like sometimes I get caught up in like doing that, because I don't know if it's because of what I do for a living, but men usually are like always wanting to know what I think of them, or what I think about this, or what I think about, and sometimes I get caught up in like, being too forward or whatever, and I realize like what I do for a living is completely different than just dating. Dating is a science, but it's a science of its own. It's not psychology like the way I practice it in my career. And so it's like men are just different, and you cannot, the way I act with my clients and at work and things like that, I can't do that with them. It's just different. It's
Right.
just different. It's a different kind of brain you use
Yeah.
with dating, and you know.
Yeah. I totally agree. I was trying to remember some of the things that I've done in the past, trying to domineer. And I think, imagine you find a guy that really complies with everything that you suggest and throw at him and kind of want to change everything about him, and he actually does it. What happens usually, and I'm sure you can all relate, is that you feel like he's not a man enough. Have you had this before?
Where
When
I feel,
someone
If you
says yes
already
to
done it?
everything, yeah.
oh.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So that's the thing too, we want that, we want to change the guy in so many ways, but then we end up resenting it ourselves because
Oh
he
yeah.
becomes not masculine enough, and I think that's
Mhm.
our fault if we do that.
Mhm. Right. Mhm.
And I
Did she
think
just?
I think my very, very first boyfriend. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. It happens sometimes. I hope the connection was not interrupted, but it seems like it keeps recording, so which is fine. What I was trying to say, I remember my very, very first boyfriend when I was a teenager. He was one of those guys who did everything that I told him to do, and I ended up breaking up with him because I felt like he was not a man enough, and it just reminded me of like how breaking the rules hurts you both ways. Even if you think, oh, that's exactly what I want, but that's what will not work in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard though.
There's
The
one
rule, I
more.
feel like the rules, it just really takes a lot of patience and like self-control because it just takes a lot of self-control.
I think it's also, or I feel like it's also about knowing that it's funny. I relate it also to worthiness. Like when I feel
Mhm.
worthy, I know I'm patient. Like when I'm acting from my highest self, let's put it that way. Um, I do
That's deep.
feel a bit more patience, like more open, receptive, less demanding, and also just less needy. Like I feel that it just is not that maybe sometimes I try to make everything happen. It's just that I'm impatient, and that's a very
Mm.
bad quality of when it comes to
Mhm.
dating. If I become
Right.
impatient, then I start demanding men to do things that they don't really know they have to do. Like nobody gave them the memo. But and I think it's also in the chapter where they say like, well, either you break up with them, or um you decide to exercise some patience.
Break
So
up.
we always have the
Yeah.
choice. Yeah.
Have you ever dated a guy that was like doing something that you absolutely just, didn't like about him? Or, I mean, in general, you wanted to date him, but he was like a smoker or something, and then you had decided, oh, he needs to quit, or it didn't work out, so you had to break up with him. Or did you try to change that in him, or like he was drinking too much, or whatever his, things were?
Yep. I like try to change everything, and so that's my problem. That's why and the book says, let him be who he is, like accept him as he is, and that's what I'm going to start doing because I think it's more powerful for me to do that than to actually keep trying to change someone because by me trying to change him, I'm actually like prolonging something that's just not meant to be. So,
Absolutely, I agree. I think that
Yeah.
chapter actually really clearly said it with the couple, with Marcy and Joe, right? I mean, she told him, "Hey, I mean, I don't like that you're going out with your friends," but then he broke up with her anyways. I
mhm.
mean, she just exactly what you said. Like she prolonged something that was probably already dead.
Mhm.
Or maybe, I don't know. We'll never know. Maybe he just needed some time. Maybe he was willing to go back to the Saturday night dates and everything. Maybe he just needed a break. But like, we really never know. I mean, I
Yeah,
would
but
bet.
I would rather be in control of myself and then be like, well, hey, I'm proud of myself. I did what I was supposed to do, and hell, I'm a catch and good night. Then like I made some mistakes and I was controlling and I let him just kind of drive the relationship into a wall because I wasn't steering it, and then it ends. You know what I mean? Like I would rather if be confident that I crossed I dotted my I's and crossed my T's, and I'm proud of myself. And if it ends, then like I made all these mistakes and it ended. Oh my God, I wasted my time. Or I can't believe I did this and said that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think right now I'm at a point in my life where I rather just things unfold the way they're meant to without me
Mhm.
putting so much resistance.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sorry. Like I keep on coming in and out, but I I hope you guys can continue with everything. Yeah, I mean, there's really, I think, a lot that we will remember later on. I mean, I think before the rules, that was my biggest rule breaking. I did tell all of my ex-boyfriends what to do, what to wear when we shopped. I even forced my ex-boyfriend to buy a baseball jacket that he absolutely didn't like and never wore, but I forced him to buy it because I liked it. And it was just in the closet, sitting $300. I mean, stuff like that happened.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that it's from my experience, it's not always just that I'm like I'm just trying to control men, or I'm just trying to tell them what to do. It's also that I've been attracting guys that kind of want me to, in a sense, or they kind of act a bit like they clueless, or like they need some sort of guidance or a script. And so now I'm, starting to see how I fall into the trap as well. Like how, like I'm like, well, dang, how do I not do that? You know what I mean? Like even if they kind of seem like they need guidance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a ton of men out there who will tell who are actually looking for a mommy, somebody
Mhm.
who to take care of them, and that's why
Mhm.
they're like on default. They think, oh, if she's a woman, she will take care of me. She will do these kind of things. She will pick up the socks and the shoes, and well, do my laundry just immediately, just because you're a woman. But because you're dating, you're not his wife yet. You obviously should not be doing all of these things. You should not be like caring for them too much anyway. And advising him on his career or telling him what to do is actually caring too much. And that's what rules are against, clearly
Mm.
against. While you are dating, you are actually you are the prize that's sitting on the throne. You have your crown on, just imagine, and you wait for a guy to do the right things. You're not somebody to move forward to a guy in the beginning. Later on, more and more sure, even while you're dating, if you feel like, well, this is progressing very well, you can open up or be more kind and supportive, but like not too much, lessen him always. Because the guys don't really need this. They're all by themselves, they really like them. Usually, us women, we hate ourselves in so many ways. But
Mm.
men, they can be whatever and they love themselves. I mean,
Mm. That's
we should
deep.
actually learn
True.
a lot from these guys on self-love, how they love themselves. Seriously, so they don't actually need our advice about their careers and what to do and what to wear. All they want is to be taken care of. But in the same
Mm.
time, we can't do this while we're dating. So we have to like pace ourselves with all our caring, nurturing, being and character. I
You are
think
so
the rules
right.
really, yeah, I mean, that's why we have our call. I mean, the more people join the call, the more people have experience or they can share a little bit more and the more we all learn. And that's why and that's why it's so great that we have an occasional call here and there. And
I
imagine
love.
like one of you is in Canada right now, I'm in
Mhm.
Germany, and one of you is in LA. And there's one
Mhm.
more rules girl trying to join right now to the session. I'm not sure if she will, but she's from New York. Imagine it's just three of us, and maybe now four will be, and we are all from different parts of the world. How amazing this work is that connected us all in this
Yeah.
one spot.
I know. I love it. I
Think
love it.
about it. I love it too. I
Wait, I
mean,
love how
it's
you said that we are prizes and we need to just be on our pedestal and just wait for the guy to do the right thing. And you also
right.
made the comment that we can learn from them, because like we women usually are like we beat ourselves up and we don't really like a lot about ourselves, but they like usually like love themselves no matter how
Yeah,
flawed they are.
yeah,
Like when you say that,
absolutely.
do you think that maybe a lot of our issue is that we just don't know we're the prize, and that we're just kind of not waiting for the guy to climb up to us and as a prize?
If we knew that we are the prize, if we grew up in a culture or a family that instilled the rules are to us right from the birth on, we would not be having this conversation right now. It's usually that we grew up in the modern times where women kind of getting equalized to men in some ways, and we should not be too feminine. We should not be too. We should care about careers. We should care about education, which is great, by the way. I'm not diminishing this, but at the same time, usually women are doubting themselves a lot because through
Mm,
generations, through centuries, thousands of years, the women were the weaker, gender. Obviously, we are. Physically, we are. But at the
mhm.
same time, it really transferred into our being that we're somewhat less than men. Because even still nowadays, in other cultures, women are considered, just look in India, women are considered as a burden. The families are
Yeah.
trying to get rid of them, to marry them off. They even give gifts to the groom's family so that they would take in their daughter into their family because of how this woman is a burden to this other birthing family. Imagine that. Like it's been through centuries, through thousands of years that women had to be given gifts, or like the family of the bride had to give gifts to the other family that she would be married off to. Like just, and it's still going on nowadays. So it's just an example. So we think we're somewhat less. We need to have even like gold and money so that the groom will take us.
Mm, mm, mm.
So the grooms think, oh my God, I'm amazing, I'm a man. And we need to learn from them that kind of feeling. Like regardless of what they're doing, they feel amazing in the mouth. Like think about like what kind of losers, okay, we're not saying losers, but like what kind of different types of men would approach you on the street thinking that you would agree to date them. And you would think, oh my God, he is so weird. Why would I want to go out with you? You don't even know how to iron your shirt. You look like a loser. But they think they're amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I met a homeless guy once who told me he wanted to start a five star chick, and I was like, but what about your situation? He was like, well, what about my situation? I'm like, well, you're homeless right now, and he was like, so what? He was like, I want a 5 star chick, and I was thinking, what the? Oh my god, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine in the parallel world, a woman would do this to a man, and he'd be like, "What? What do you want from me?" Yeah,
Right, like he thought that he was a catch, even although he was homeless. He didn't care. So,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
wow,
Oh
you
my
are
God.
really preaching. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, are you in my Facebook group by any chance?
What's it called? Because
I
I'm in one.
yes, it's called the Creature Unlike Any Other. If you look up the groups on
Okay.
Facebook,
Uh-huh.
definitely join my group,
Okay, I
and
will.
you just you just have to fill out maybe two or three questions. I think it's just two questions. What's the rule number one, which is create unlike any other, and second question would be how long you're doing the rules. You just tell how long you're doing the rules.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I basically make sure that only rules girls really are in the group, because nobody who didn't read the rules book will want to join, but some people just join without knowing what the group is about, so I weed them out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But whoever's listening to this, you know, recording will obviously be a rules girl, so that's
Right.
really fun. All right, I
Right.
think my friend from New York City cannot join, or she's not able to. Is there anything more you want to share? Otherwise, I will finish this up.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm good with what I shared.
I do want to know, will you be, will, do you, I mean, I don't want to put any pressure, but I was wondering if we could do this like every week, or something, or just go through the whole book. I mean, I don't know if every week, but just often we can
Yeah,
meet.
I'm gonna just finish up recording and then we can talk about this. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay?